Today on Hidden Secrets Revealed Live, U.S. national debt reaches $40 trillion. U.S. Treasury doubles bond buybacks. The U.S. government owes nearly $40 trillion in national debt. To cover the gap, it borrows by selling treasury bonds to investors. The US Treasury is doubling this amount from $2 billion to at least $4 billion per event. How are bond buybacks supposed to reduce the national debt? Let me reveal this to you live right now on Hidden Secrets Revealed Live. HSRL is a production of the Safe New Media Network. Before you keep watching, let me tell you who this is not for. This show is not for you. If you take yourself too seriously, sweetheart, if you are a seeker, let me be your guide to discover accurate truth for yourself. Let me help you increase the quality and effectiveness of your life by revealing to you the hidden secrets of this universe and the entire multiverse. What a world, what a world, what a world. It's the only podcast of its kind right now on this subject going live on X. Therefore, the most popular live stream podcast live right now on this subject going live on X. This show is specifically for those who are seeking new perspectives, fresh ideas, and a willingness to explore new possibilities. My intention is to help investors like you stay ahead of the curve and make the most out of emerging opportunities. Before we continue, I must tell you about my new album, Opulence. It drops the first Friday in September. You can pre-save it now. The first single is out now. If you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, you can now activate this QR code visible on your screen. If you're listening to this podcast, go to safenewmedia.com/opulence. Now, today on HSRL, ladies and gentlemen, the government owes $40 trillion. 40 trillion. What is this? A subscription? Every month, America gets an email. Congratulations. Your interest payment has been processed. We owe $40 trillion. Not we might owe, not in theory. We owe it right now. Like the whole country maxed out the credit card and then ordered the extended warranty on the credit card. So, you know what they're going to do to fix it? They're buying back their own bonds. The government spends more than it takes in. So it sells treasury bonds. That's the plan. When the gap gets bigger, they sell more bonds. The government spends $1.8 trillion more than it has. So it sells bonds to cover the gap. Then it spends $14 billion buying back those same bonds to cover the gap it created by selling the bonds. You know what they call it when you owe $40 trillion and your plan is to buy back your own IOUs? They call it financial strategy. But if you or I do it at a casino in Biloxi, they call it a federal felony. And Sir, please step away from the craps table. Look, it's crazy, man. Do you know what a treasury bond actually is? Numbers on a computer screen. We invented a $40 trillion ghost that controls whether or not you can buy a house in Ohio. Jamie Dimon eats a bad clam, yields spike, and suddenly your mortgage goes up 2%. It's a snake eating its own tail. We're buying back the debt. With what money? You don't have any money. That's why you have the debt. You're buying the debt with the debt. You go to a restaurant, eat a steak, then throw a brick through the window. Don't worry, the brick pays for the steak. At the end of the day, raising taxes or cutting spending is too hard, right? So the government decided instead to play high stakes musical chairs with itself. The music is $40 trillion loud, and the Treasury Department bought the chair they were already sitting in. Think about that. The US government is buying back US government debt from investors using money it had to borrow by selling US government debt to investors. It's wild. That's like taking out a Visa card to pay off your MasterCard, using the MasterCard to buy a cash advance, and then telling the bank, don't worry, I'm creating market liquidity. The government sells treasury bonds like Costco sells rotisserie chickens. Take one, take 10. They're practically flying off the shelf. Then one day investors go, you know, we'd like a little more interest. The government's reaction, what if we buy back the bonds? Yeah, I'd like to buy back my credit card bill. No problem. Which one? The expensive one. With what money? Your money. So the Treasury announces it's going to buy back some of the older long term bonds. They raised the buyback limit from $2 billion to $4 billion a pop. The market breathes a little easier. Yields dip. Stocks feel better for a day. Here's the thing though, buying back the old bonds doesn't shrink the debt. Let's say you owed the bank $40 trillion, and your brilliant solution was to call them up and say, listen, I'd like to refinance the part of the loan that I already hate looking at. That's like shuffling a deck of cards before you build a house with them. They plan to buy back an extra $14 billion this quarter. Meanwhile, in the first 10 months of the fiscal year, they borrowed $1.8 trillion. That's like a guy who loses $1,800 a month at the casino and then proudly tells his wife he found a $14 coupon for free parking. The buybacks might smooth out the market for a minute. They might even push yields down a little, but the debt itself is still sitting there getting bigger, waiting for the only actual solutions: raise taxes, cut spending, or both. Everything else is the government buying its own old debt, so the new debt can feel more comfortable. People think the buyback means we're paying off the debt. No, no, it's more sophisticated than that. It's the financial equivalent of rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. They say buying bonds lowers yields because it increases demand. That's Wall Street for you. Anywhere else, buying more of something means you have a problem. My garage is full of beanie babies. Buy more, it'll calm the market. The funniest part is that the Treasury is buying back old bonds while issuing new ones. It's like breaking up with your ex by proposing to their younger sister. We're trying to simplify our relationship. Investors start getting nervous about inflation and deficits, so that they demand higher yields. Higher yields mean higher mortgage rates, higher business loans, higher everything. Suddenly, your house payment goes up because Uncle Sam decided the deficit was more important than your interest rate. When investors worry the government has too much debt, they demand higher interest. So the government buys its own debt to lower the interest, which requires them to issue even more debt. Imagine owing $40,000 to a guy named Tony, and you pay him back with a check written from Tony's account. What are you going to get? A lower interest rate or your knees broken? But when the Treasury does it, Wall Street calls it yield curve management. Investors are fascinating. Yesterday, they loved government bonds. Today, they're demanding higher yields because they're worried about deficits. You know what they'll do tomorrow? They'll buy the same bonds if someone says the word liquidity confidently enough. Bond traders are the only people who can look terrified while making money. Higher treasury yields ripple through the whole economy. Mortgage rates go up, car loans go up, credit cards go up. Suddenly, everyone in America is paying more because somewhere two bond traders frowned at each other for 12 seconds. The Treasury says these buybacks improve market functioning. That's one of those phrases economists invent so nobody asks follow up questions. It's like a mechanic saying, "We've enhanced the vehicular experience." So, did you fix the brakes? The experience has never been smoother. And I love the scale of it all. We're increasing buybacks by $14 billion. 14 billion against 40 trillion. That's like finding a quarter under your couch and announcing, "Honey, retirement is back on." The national debt has become America's emotional support number. Every year it gets bigger. Every year, everyone says it's unsustainable. Every year we add another digit and collectively go, well, apparently it was sustainable. The government has discovered the greatest life hack ever. If you owe your neighbor $10,000, you have a problem. If you owe the entire planet 40 trillion, the planet has a problem. That's my time. I got to get back to work. Share this, retweet on X, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify. You're allowed to make fun of me only if your jokes are funny and you get my name right. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. You don't have to do this, but if you want to, you can go ahead and follow me on X. It's not necessary to follow me on X, but you can visit my X profile to learn more. And you have to understand that I do follow others who are funnier and smarter than me. And there's a lot of people who are funnier and smarter than me, but do what you want. Whatever you decide, go ahead and follow at Safe New Media on X. Team up with me to bring about serious advancement for each other. The plan is for our community to share with each other the systems, the processes, and workflows that we are successfully using in order to help each other grow. It's not a cult, but have you ever felt that deep, powerful sense of belonging that transforms your entire perspective? That's what awaits you in our community. As you hear me talking now, you might begin to imagine yourself surrounded by like minded individuals who truly understand your aspirations. Picture yourself waking up each morning with renewed purpose, knowing you're part of something greater than yourself. Your future self is already thanking you for taking this step today. The door is open, and all you need to do is walk through it. Belong higher. Join our inner circle on Telegram. There's a link to it at the top of the Safe New Media X profile. The official source for the show is safenewmedia.com/HSRL. And this episode is brought to you by the AI Apocalypse Small Business Fix. Most small business owners know AI is changing things and have no idea where to start. They're running their businesses. They don't have time to figure it out. Jeff Bezos described AI as the horizontal enabling layer, not a product, not a platform, not a feature, a layer underneath everything, like electricity, railroads, the internet. Okay. Do you remember the people who missed those opportunities? Of course you don't, because they're not relevant. The people who didn't move became irrelevant. Intelligence itself is becoming infrastructure. All businesses that fail to adapt will become obsolete. Don't let it happen to yours. Go to safenew.media. Go to safenew.media. Get your AI assessment for small businesses now. It's a roadmap we build for your business. It shows you exactly where AI can improve your operations, customer follow ups, scheduling, marketing, repetitive admin work, etc. We find the gaps, explain what's possible, and hand you a clear written plan. You'll receive a written report, simple, clear, no fluff. This is for you if you're a business owner with around 50 employees or less. You realize what's coming. It's already here, the AI tidal wave. You're aware that if you do nothing, your business is in trouble. Remember how everything changed during the pandemic? Today, a similar paradigm shift is happening. After the chat GPT moment came the deep seek moment. Then it was the open claw moment. The new normal is the next inflection point from another AI breakthrough. Are you falling behind, ready to change with the times, or would you rather get left behind? Now you can secure your AI apocalypse small business fix. Limit 3 clients per week. First come, first serve. Get on our wait list. When at capacity, go to safenew.media. What I'm about to tell you next will shock you.
This is not an offer, solicitation of an offer to buy or sell securities. Past performance is not an indication of future results. Investing involves risk and may result in partial or total loss. Prospective investors should carefully consider investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and should consult with a tax or legal advisor before making any investment.
Before making any investment decision, always do your own research. This is not financial advice, and this is not a general offer to the general public for anything in particular. This is for accredited investors. Are you an accredited investor? This is for you. Today, the market has shifted. We're at the bottom of the cycle for multifamily real estate. Rent growth in the Sun Belt is at 0%. Most investors are about to get wiped out. A lot of them already have. Real estate has a dirty secret. It doesn't follow demand. It follows cheap money. And when money gets cheap, people build too much every time. That bill is due now. So two opposing facts are true. Many apartment owners are distressed big time. The only reason they need to sell is not that they want to, they have to, or else return the keys to the bank. The other fact is that buying a home now costs roughly 105% more per month than renting. Families are stuck as forever renters. We're seizing this shift. We're passing on the majority of deals because the numbers don't work, but we are buying 100 unit assets in growth markets. In some cases, 80 units or less. If it pencils, few get in. Why? We don't need more money. We're looking for investors aligned with our values. We're improving quality of life at scale for hardworking families. Secure your place on our wait list. Go to Inveresta.com. You can now subscribe to our newsletter. That secures your place. Inveresta is giving you a free gift to accredited investors. Go to Inveresta.com and you can now receive your free guide. It's called Location Science 2026, 5 filters to find growth markets for multifamily real estate. This is the data that we use to find the best locations to invest in. Don't ignore the data before you invest. When you subscribe, you secure your place on our waitlist for the next opportunity. A lot of people in real estate tell you to invest in your backyard. And that's a fair argument because you know the market in your backyard, right? So you know where to go, you know what's happening, you know what data centers are going up or not. You know what you know because you're there. But you also know why you would not invest in your backyard. What if you live in a place where job growth is not increasing and there's no sign of it increasing? That's going to be a problem. Okay? Don't invest in the wrong location. Hit me up on our X profile at Inveresta. Retail investors can send me a DM there to let me know what kind of investment opportunities you are looking for. Accredited investors can get in touch with me today. Call my office, go to Inveresta.com. Accredited investors only. This is not an offer or solicitation to the general public. Last thing before I let you go, I want to invite you to subscribe to Methods of Prosperity newsletter. This is the newsletter I write out to my list every week. It's so important to communicate with your community via email because these social media platforms can rug you at any time. So that's what this newsletter is for, to communicate with you guys. And I focus on prosperity. I focus on what successful people do. It's an obsession that I have. I don't know why, but you owe it to yourself to be rich. Society, our parents, teachers, and peers have conditioned us. They want us to be like them. They need us to comply. They need us to be conventional like they are. As Herb Kelleher, co founder and CEO of Southwest Airlines, remarked, all the people that were telling me those things were expressing conventional wisdom. And if it's conventional, it ain't wisdom. And if it's wisdom, it ain't conventional. My name is Sean Allen Fenn, and I'm obsessed with prosperity. This is the natural state of the human spirit. It turns out there's no limit. There's also many variables. Some keep their day jobs, others go all in. Some are entrepreneurs, others are value investors, but all of them have a certain mindset. Understanding what makes them tick grants us insight into our own journey. Methods of Prosperity newsletter is for anyone who agrees that success leaves clues. It's the most popular newsletter to brainwash yourself rich. Become a renegade billionaire. Go to safenewmedia.com/newsletter. To become a billionaire, condition yourself to think like a billionaire. You can now subscribe for free at safenewmedia.com/newsletter. Join our community on Telegram. You can do that. It's totally free. Thanks for making this the most popular live stream at this hour. On this subject, broadcasting on X, formerly known as Twitter, Hidden Secrets Revealed Live is a production of Safe New Media, unconventional, diversified global digital media company devoted to the practice, administration, and dissemination of the ideologies of its founder, moi, yours truly. My name is Sean Allen Fenn, and this is definitely not a cult. I like you. But don't take my word for it. Decide for yourself.